returners who haven't been here in a while. First up, my good friend Mr. Michael Gardner. How are you, buddy?
Doing well. The end is near for me.
Yes.
So they said beware the Ides of March, and I made it through that.
Yes, that's right.
So now
well, we weren't even here all of March.
Yeah, exactly.
So.
My episodes are numbered.
That's right.
It'll be very sad, sort of like Derek Jeter's last season.
Yes.
Hopefully we can go out with a bang.
Yeah, we'll send you off to the Hall of Fame.
Hopefully we can make it to the playoffs.
That's right.
And not go below 500.
That's right.
We'll see.
Speaking of going below 500, Mr. Deepak, we got
Wait, what?
also here after an extended absence. How are you, sir?
I'm good. Good. Yourself?
I am doing great.
Yeah.
Thank you. And last but certainly not least, Mr. Dylan Choate, who was here last week. So, long time no see.
Of course. I mean, me and you are holding this down, aren't we? Maybe?
It's like Noah's Ark, you know?
Two by two. Much.
They're taking shots at us.
Absolutely.
Here, we're the two
but
that get
on
to go.
that note, we had a
We're
couple
dead.
of
We're the unicorns.
conclusions to some major sporting events. We'll talk about the one that literally just finished later in the show. But right now we're going to talk finally the conclusion of the 2014 NCAA tournament, guys. It was the Connecticut Huskies taking out the Kentucky Wildcats. UConn is the first ever 7th seed to win it all. They are 4-0 in national championship games. Mike, the game was a bit of a grinder, but it seemed that when Kentucky could make a run, they couldn't get over the top, and Connecticut prevail. What's your thoughts?
Well, it showed what a very young Kentucky team looked like in the first time in the championship game, with the exception of the SEC championship game, which they almost won that as well.
That's right.
So it's Calipari once again taking a group of freshmen, inexperienced youngsters on a big stage,
Yeah, but they had
on a
some
race
returners,
court.
though. We love the race court.
Yes, no, we actually do not love it. Very bad for basketball, but it was interesting because the UConn was more experienced despite being a 7 seed, very underseeded 7 seed.
Well, very underseeded, even more underseeded 8 seed.
Exactly. Clearly showing the NCAA just wants it all for money.
No.
To set it up as UConn is the
And
first
then
7 seed.
SportsZone got
You really think they just explicitly set that up?
No, I mean like they put UConn and they put Kentucky at an 8 seed when they should have been higher.
Oh yeah.
Regardless, as Timber's playing in the background.
Yes.
Yeah.
You could not go without.
Timber is indeed
has nothing to do with college basketball.
I have no
It's
idea.
a
what's
great
going
song.
on.
I don't
It's
know.
a great song.
Complete shenanigans.
Much like Shabazz Napier's ball
Exactly.
handling and the backcourt of UConn. Props to Kevin Ollie.
Exactly. Speaking of Kevin Ollie, Deepak, his first time in the NCAA tournament, because the first time he coached last year, they were under sanction, were not eligible for postseason play. It's interesting. Actually, both teams in the championship game were not in the NCAA tournament last year. We have Shabazz Napier. Career has now bookended with national championships. You have Boatwright was solid. DeAndre Daniels was solid. And now everyone's kind of comparing this team, the 2011 Kemba Walker Club, which they were kind of a surprise team that won it all after having that awesome run in the Big East tournament. Back when the Big East was, the Big East, or fun. But the Big East this year was fun because it was on Fox Sports 1. They're fun.
Yes.
But Deepak, what's your thoughts?
No, I definitely found this team to be very impressive. Having Napier have that bookend, title along with Gaffey, the big old German guy right there.
Love the Germans.
And it was also just a great way for Kevin Ollie to celebrate because as a player, they lost the championship when Ollie went to UConn. And he obviously credited all the success from this year's team to Jim Calhoun, who was in attendance.
Yes, he was.
And I mean, just knowing that a legacy like that lives on, a former player now coaching and winning the title, Napier doing well, Boatwright doing well. It was a surprise for a lot of analysts. On ESPN, they all predicted the new Fab Five to beat UConn. Everyone predicted it, and it didn't happen, and I knew it wouldn't happen.
Well,
I'm just saying, I knew it. I knew it.
Oh.
Well, who actually did predict the UConn Huskies last week was our good friend Dylan Choate. So, Dylan, if you want to take this time to rub it in, or
I guess I'll take the time right now to rub it in. I was gonna do that during the thumbs up, thumbs down section.
Or you can do either.
I'm gonna do a little bit of both, but I'll break down the game right now.
Show your cards.
Yeah, it'll be all good. I'll come back to that in thumbs up, some thumbs down. But just like I said last week, I think Napier was gonna have a really big game, and he did. He definitely stepped it up. There was the whole story of him kind of being the protege or studying under Kemba Walker, and you definitely saw that in the game. He definitely took a leadership role, kind of calming the team down, making sure Boatwright wasn't making stupid mistakes. And the reason I say that is because there was the shot of him like literally stopping Boatwright and like while they're playing and saying just slow it down, let's play our game, and that's what they ended up doing. And they just kind of were one step ahead of Kentucky the entire time. Both teams looked very impressive in this game. But like I said, UConn started a little bit stronger earlier. They got a little bit ahead. Kentucky was making the runs like you're used to them seeing. But their magic in the end just kind of ran out. They couldn't make the last second three. Yeah. And obviously one of the bigger stories of the game is the fact that UConn's free throws versus Kentucky's free throws. Right. And UConn made, and they always make those free throws down the stretch. And Kentucky, on the other hand, was missing some very key free throws at the end. And that just could have been the final right there.
All right, Deepak, I'll put you on the spot. Can UConn repeat next year? Losing Napier, losing Giffey. Yeah. Speaking of Germans, Mike, who's a German that we love?
Bastian Schweinsteiger?
Not who I was talking about, but anyways, continue. Can UConn repeat? Will we see Kentucky in the mix? Who could you possibly see in the national championship game? Do a little prognostication.
UConn.
11 months early.
UConn can repeat. They will. I think definitely winning this title. UConn's definitely a big basketball school to begin with, and winning the title is only going to help them more with getting good young guys coming in. However, I see Louisville going back and winning it next year.
Excellent. Dylan, yes or no? Can UConn repeat?
No, they can't repeat. Napier's leaving. They're losing a lot of their big guys. They have talent, but not enough.
Mike, quickly.
They'll all go to the NBA.
Woo!
Literally all of them.
No, I mean like the notables.
Excellent.
Other than the seniors, which
all right. Guys, excellent insight as always. We got some more Sports Zone on the way, so keep it locked.
Hello, friends. Jim Nantz here. Just kidding. It's the next best thing, though. Mike Gardner will bring you Studio 90, our Sports Zone soccer segment. Nick Paptis, the immortal Alan Wynn. We are not worthy of his presence. But for this episode, on the Sports Zone episode, we have some not USA soccer. Sorry to the MLS fans out there. The only big thing is apparently they released the salaries, which is laughable, considering how awkward is that going to be in the dressing room. Be like, ooh, someone makes 5 figures. Anyway, we'll go across the pond to the Champions League, in which the semifinals is set. Surprisingly, Atletico Madrid is in the mix with Real Madrid, Bayern Munich, and Alan wins Chelsea on the miraculous goal of Demba Ba.
Got him.
Give him praise. Give the Blues some praise.
It's character. What do you say? What do you say? It's built into your club's DNA that you go and you fight back. They don't seriously. You watch this Chelsea team in the past 10 years. They honestly don't know when they're beaten. And I know I was saying as I was a Chelsea fan, but wherever they go, it's like they don't know when they're beaten. And kept pressing on.
So humble.
The team kept pressing on, and Mourinho changed his tactics up and got the goal 87th minute, I think. So, good times.
And ironically, the gentleman to his left is sporting a scarlet tie, which has "We Never Walk Alone." As ironically, we'll get back to Champions League, but because Chelsea and Liverpool are fighting it out for the best in England. Paptis, show Liverpool some love. Can they hold on after an impressive 3-2 victory on Saturday?
It's going to be very interesting with playing Chelsea in a couple weeks, but it is at Anfield, so that's going to be – it's a done game for Chelsea. Chelsea's coming into an automatic loss. That's just a little bit of bias on my part, but there was a big win today for Liverpool over Man City. Tough team, but – playing at Anfield's tough for any team, even one of the top teams in the league.
I think one of the interesting things, and I'll remain objective and professional here, is that the whole point of Chelsea fans wanted Liverpool to win today because Chelsea go to Liverpool and have the opportunity then to take points off of Liverpool since Liverpool are now in pole position to win the league. If City won, they have games in hand, but Chelsea have beaten them twice already, and they don't have the opportunity to go forward and take points off of Man City. So that game against Anfield will be the title decider this season, absolutely. I think the midfield battle is going to be really interesting. Jordan Henderson received a straight red card today. That's counted as violent conduct. So he will be out for 2 or 3 games, depending on his card accumulation. So he will be a big cog in their midfield missing. Lucas Leiva will likely have to step in. So it'll be a midfield battle as good as Suarez and Sturridge are.
You alright there?
I'm good.
Alright, good. Back to the Champions League we go. The Final Four, Nick Pappas, break it down. We will guarantee a Spanish club, yet again. But surprising that Barcelona and PSG are not in it. Instead, some new faces.
It's going to be really interesting to see how Atletico does. Atletico has been in amazing form this season, especially with Diego Costa, who Alan was mentioning a little bit earlier before we were recording about Diego Costa's gash on his leg. Costa has been making some big plays, but he actually was not the one to get them to the semifinals. Koke, I believe, was the goal scorer in the 5th minute, and they just held on. They truly outplayed Barcelona, and they absolutely deserve to be where they are.
And you mentioned, both of you mentioned injuries. First we've had Mighty Falco, and now apparently 2 others, Yaya Toure being among. What is it with this curse of the World Cup injury?
It happens. The curse of the World Cup is here, ladies and gentlemen.
Stadiums aren't even finished.
Stadiums aren't even finished.
Done.
It's crazy. It's mental. But Yaya Toure, Manuel Pellegrini came out today, said that his injury will likely keep him out of the World Cup. Diego Costa got his goal today in Atletico's win, but slid into the post. Big gash on his knee, had to be stretchered off. Saw it a couple weeks ago. Jay Rodriguez stretching for the ball, taking it down off a long ball, landing awkwardly on his knee, just because that's the curse of the World Cup. It takes these great players. You think, all right, they're going to light up the World Cup, but it takes them out. It's a shame, but it's expected. You know.
It is a game of soccer, though.
Yeah.
Knock on wood, no USA players have been injured as much.
USA!
No, it's 'cause
They did tie in their popsicle firecracker jerseys, so they have yet to lose. Their next game, I think, is around the corner.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's against Turkey or one of their friendlies against Azerbaijan, which I am
That'll
stoked
be fun.
for
That'll be fun.
because we never play them and I'll never play them again. Nick Pappas, our final note with the World Cup is always a great sound of songs and music. What better place to have it in Brazil, home of samba, and Bahia Bay in Rio. And who do we get for our World Cup song?
Pitbull, of course. I mean, who else is there? I mean, really, who else is the more obvious choice than Pitbull?
any Brazilian artist, because there are a lot, and there's a lot of really great
Sergio
Brazilian
Mendes,
music.
one of the greatest guys who made the song Mas Que Nada.
Mas que nada.
Anyway, that's all the time we have for Studio 90. We'll send it back to B-Flow and the main panel. Nick Pappas, Alan Wynn, Mike Gardner. Catch you later.
Welcome back to SportsZone. We're going to talk about the tradition unlike any other in our next segment. But in the meantime, we got a little association talk. We're only going 3 wide this time.
We're unionizing?
Yes. Mike's excited for that, but until we go to court with that next week, we're going to talk association. The Miami Heat, they're going for a three-peat, which hasn't been done since the Lake Show did it back in the turn of the millennium. And now it's interesting to look at, is there anybody in the Eastern Conference that can keep the Heat, have any chance of keeping the Heat out of the finals for the 4th straight year? And everyone thought it'd be Indiana, not Indianapolis. But they're still, actually no, I believe last time I checked, based on Miami beating Indiana on Friday, Miami was back in the top spot, but everyone would think, it's going to be a Miami-Indiana showdown in the Eastern Conference, which it probably still will be. But Indiana's been so bad of late. They've looked terrible over the last few weeks, making people think maybe they won't even get to the Eastern Conference Finals. People are looking at my Brooklyn Nets, who swept Miami this year. Of course, when Craig Sager asked LeBron James, are the Nets a threat to you guys in the playoffs? And he was like,
didn't he just laugh and say next question or something?
Don't give me that or something like that.
Yeah.
But Mike, are the Heat bound? Is it inevitable that they get back to the finals?
No, because it's very hard to make it to the finals 4 straight years.
Well, have you seen the rest of the Eastern Conference?
Yeah, we could beat them. But
That's right. Great soundbite.
our SportsZone basketball team could beat them.
All right, let's not get carried away.
It's tough for them to get back because of the unexpected obstacles in their way. Your Brooklyn Nets, who, as you mentioned, did sweep them.
That's right.
Indiana
Preach.
Pacers. The Indiana Pacers, who have
Preach.
had the Heat's number all season and hate them with a vengeance.
Hate them with passion.
Well, they want vengeance because
They want vengeance, but you can't hate somebody with vengeance.
and passion,
Yes.
like Calvin Klein. I'll tell you about that later.
Please do.
Anyway, the Heat is gonna be very tough because eventually, as the NBA goes, you figure teams out,
Yeah.
and people are going to double team, be very physical with LeBron. Dwayne Wade is on his last leg. Chris Bosh is on his last leg. The only notables off the bench, I mean,
Mario Chalmers.
Mario Chalmers, who always gets yelled at by LeBron at every game.
Yes, he does.
And then Norris Cole comes off the bench. He's a very good player, but
No, he's not.
it depends. Yeah, he's a good player.
He's not a very.
He's in the NBA. He has to be a good player.
Then what does that mean?
He has probably one of the best haircuts in the NBA.
Well, okay.
The only thing that will keep the Heat is one if LeBron James goes off on a whim and carries the team on his back,
Which he can.
which he can,
He
and
did it on
the
against
interior
the Friday.
defense of Joel Anthony and the Birdman. If those guys stay out of foul trouble and compete with the bigs of Brooklyn,
That's right.
possibly Chicago if they play them, of
Yeah.
Indiana, keep a watchful eye on the Heat. Though I don't think they'll make it back to the playoffs.
But
Alright,
you don't
finals.
think you don't think they'll make it back to the finals?
No.
Really?
I think the Indiana Pacers will.
Even without Eric Dampier.
Well, I mean, even Juwan Howard couldn't do it.
Dylan, do you agree with that? I'm surprised.
Well, I am going to have to
Yeah.
actually agree with that one.
Whoa!
I don't think it's going to be any one team that's going to dominate the Heat and knock them out. I think it's the fact that they've lost to Brooklyn. They've been swept by Brooklyn this year, so Brooklyn's going to be a tough matchup for them whenever they play them.
Yeah, but
and
they may not though.
That's true. They might not play them. And then there's also the Pacers, which I feel they're slowly getting back together. They beat
What do you mean
OKC.
slowly get back? They just got killed by the Heat.
Well, yeah, they just got killed by the Heat, but like 2 games before that, they sat all their starters and ended up still winning.
Yeah,
and
but
they just beat, and then they just
who
beat
they play,
OKC.
Detroit?
And then they just
They're
beat
on
OKC either last night or earlier today.
What? Wait, who?
Pacers, didn't they play the Thunder?
They may have.
I think they just beat the
I
Thunder
think they
too.
did.
They did beat the.
So I feel like once it gets to the playoffs, they are going to end up turning it around. These selfish players that Roy Hibbert's talking about, they're going to kind of come back together as a team.
way.
But I think, like I said, it's not going to be one team beating them. I think it's going to be the fact that they're going to have to play 2-3 tough teams in the playoffs. That's just going to tire them out. LeBron's not going to be able to do it all by himself because he's going to be double teamed for 2 series. Wade's not going to be playing all the games, and if he does, he's not going to be as big of a factor as he usually is.
Yeah.
So I would definitely have to agree with Mike. I
It
don't
takes
see them
six-
making it
it
back
takes
to the
16
finals.
games to win.
I completely disagree
And
with
imagine
both of you.
16 games of just
The
brute and
Pacers
physical defense,
Well,
hip
yes.
checks, elbows.
But we've seen
Landmines
we've seen
blowing
that
up.
before the last 3 years, and the Heat still make it through.
But
The
Wade
Pacers
wasn't.
have looked like trash.
But Wade
They haven't
this
beat
year's
anybody in years.
maybe months,
Yes.
But-
Actually, more like weeks.
more like
but-
weeks. But I think the fact that you do have to rely on Wade. You can't like LeBron can do it by himself. I don't think he can carry them into the finals by himself though.
He is the best player on the planet, but you know.
I
Even
still think
even
he can do it.
Superman had
And I
kryptonite.
think it'll be more important what Chris Bosh does in Wade. Because
Yeah.
even last year in the playoffs, Wade didn't play all that well.
Because the thing in the Eastern Conference, it's a lot of interior post play and defense. That's why you
He
get
had a lot of crap.
that's where you get all these low scoring games. Because that's where you'll get the LeBron's driving to the basket and then like the bat around for the rebound.
Hey,
And Chris Bosh will be irrelevant.
All right. Speaking of irrelevance, the Los Angeles Lakers have been an unmitigated dumpster fire this year. And I like some other teams. Cough, Knicks, not in the playoffs. Cough, Knicks suck.
Should fix that cough.
Celtics too.
Paul's
First
Falcons.
first time that the
Yeah,
3 of
but
them
we
aren't
knew
in the
the
playoffs.
Celtics
I mean,
were gonna
I knew the
suck,
Celtics were going to be good, but
Pardon my French.
We love Jared Sullinger.
But we do. But I mean, the Lakers didn't have high expectations, Mike Gardner, coming into this year. But they've been even worse than what everyone thought they at least were going to be. Their second worst record in the Western Conference is our good friend, Mr. Pringle, Mike D'Antoni. Is he done? with the Lakers?
He did get caught in a bad situation. I think he is done.
Thank
We said it on an unnamed radio show. He's gonna be gone.
It was Mike and Mike in the morning, right?
Exactly. Mike's on.
He's ready.
We said on Friday that I said on Friday he'd be gone. But the thing is, he also did not have Kobe Bryant or Steve Nash.
Yeah,
So
well, they're holding out Kobe Bryant.
the thing with that, but the thing is, if you fire D'Antoni, that's what 3 head coaches in like 2 years.
Yeah, but
It just is a giant mess.
Who cares?
It'd be fun to watch though. I can't
That's right.
wait. Anyone who's a Lakers fan.
and on that note, Dylan, quickly, Mike D'Antoni fired, yes or no?
He's fired.
Okay.
Not coming back.
I agree.
You're fired.
The
In my
quote to
best.
Donald, you fired.
Trump impression.
And on that note, we got some more sports on the way, so keep it locked right here. You're watching Sports.
Hello and welcome back to Sports Zone. This is Getting to Third Base, your favorite baseball segment that we have on this. And as you can tell this week, we got more of a full panel, more than just the two of us that we had last week. We got Deepak joining us again. Dan is back from last week, and we're going to continue to talk about all those baseball news. We're going to be starting with first is the hottest team in Major League Baseball right now, the Milwaukee Brewers. Not a favorite pick at the beginning of the season, but they're currently 10-2, riding a 9-game win streak, and they just swept pretty much away from Miller Park. How do you think it's going for them, Deepak?
It's going unbelievably well. I think this is a very balanced team like we have here. We have a whole bunch of starters who aren't necessarily number ones, more like 2 and 3s, but they're all throughout that rotation. I mean, you got guys like Garza, Loesch, Gallardo, and Marco Estrada. And just that pitching alone is getting them far. They have a bullpen that's not faltering yet. And they have hitters that are doing a solid job as well. You got Segura, you got Aramis Ramirez, Carlos Gomez, Ryan Braun, I'm not 100% sure on because I don't think he learned his lesson yet. Gomez is a very balanced player. One guy who I do kind of miss, who used to play for the Brewers, is Casey McGee, who he would always be like a solid 270 hitter, maybe like 17 home runs. But
I think he's on Miami now,
Yeah.
right? He's on the Marlins.
So
Okay.
we'll see.
And he's having a really good year
He's
too.
started
I
out
think.
really hot.
Yeah.
And it's guys like those that can carry a team far, which is interesting because he's not here. So it begs the question: how are they gonna do? No
True.
McGee, no more Corey Hart either.
No, that's a big
So-
move.
But they're doing well as a balanced team.
They definitely are. They started out really strong, like we said. Dan, what do you think? Do you think they can keep this up? Like I said, 10-2 right now. Are they just going to keep riding this throughout the season?
I don't think so. I think they play in too tough a division. The NL Central. You got the Cardinals, the Reds, the Pirates. Last year, I believe they sent 3 of those teams to the playoffs. All those three made it. They can beat up on the Cubs a bit, but I don't think they maintain how often they have to play that tough division. Although they performed well, I just don't think they managed to maintain for 162 games.
Okay. Like you said, you don't think they can hold up for 162 games. What part do you think is going to falter for them first? They've had really strong pitching to start the year, and they've gotten big contributions from a lot of their bats. What do you think is going to falter first, Dan?
I think it's going to be the batting averages are going to, I think, pretty much fall off. I mean, yeah, we've seen Ryan Braun hit his 3 home run game or against the Phillies, but when
Your Phillies.
Not Phillies.
but I really think it's going to be the batting averages are going to start to dip, and if there's no one on base to drive in, that's going to create problems for them.
Okay. Deepak, what do you think is going to stop first?
The pitching. I think it's definitely going to be the pitching because, like I said, these guys are not all solid number ones. And you have guys like Gallardo, who has slipped in the past few years, so still gets strikeouts. And Garza, all of these guys are consistent, but they're consistently, in my opinion, mediocre towards the end of the season. They're going to get you around an ERA of like the low 4s, high 3s. So I think it's going to be the pitching in terms of the starters who they'll carry you, but if one thing goes wrong, that whole team just collapses every game.
No, I'd have to agree with both of you guys. I think both are gonna dip off a little bit. I'm gonna lean more towards the batting falling off, just because you have a lot of big guys like Dan mentioned. You have Braun, Aramis Ramirez, Carlos Gomez, who are all hitting really really well right now. But especially Aramis Ramirez, I think he's going to drop off a lot. He's older. I think, isn't he like 38, 37,
Yeah,
38,
probably.
around there? He's having a very high batting average right now. He's going to fall off. It's going to be interesting to see if Braun can keep up an entire season of strength without steroids, whether he's on it or not. So we'll see what happens there. The pitching's strong, but I think that they're just going to have a really good year from their pitchers, just because these pitchers have put up good seasons in the past. And I think that's going to continue, but I think definitely the bats are going to drop off first. And they're gonna fall down a little bit in that division. So going from one specific team to kind of baseball in general, when you think of early in the season, a lot of happens is injuries. But a lot of times it's just arm injuries, some hamstrings, a little bit of soreness after spring training and not playing for a while. But what's happening so far is that there's been a lot of big injuries to players like Yasiel Puig, Josh Hamilton, and Ryan Zimmerman. the one thing that's related to all of these guys is that they've all been injured sliding headfirst into bases, whether it's first or second. Now, Deepak, I know Josh Hamilton and Yasiel Puig were both hurt sliding into first base. Do you like the fact that they're sliding into first base and being aggressive, or no?
It's a yes and no for me. For Hamilton's a solidified player, a solidified star. He's been paid the big bucks, but he's not as agile and as, I want to say, exciting as Puig. So Hamilton sliding to first just sounds stupid because he's not as fast. But Puig, this is kind of what I like to see in terms of younger guys like Puig and like Bryce Harper, both who will sacrifice their bodies for their team to win and for the game. I mean, you want to kind of bring back that aspect of the guys who play for the game, not for the money. Zimmerman was an unfortunate accident. He has been injured recently in the past few years, so it's definitely a knock. Against the Nationals, losing him, but his isn't as big of a deal, like you mentioned. The first base, that's really up in the air. Do you have a guy who can actually do that and be productive in it, or do that and just look silly?
I mean, personally, like we've talked about before, I thought they both looked silly. Dan, quickly, do you like the idea of sliding headfirst into a base in general, or no?
Again, I kind of agree. I think second base with Zimmerman is a lot more acceptable than diving headfirst into first base. You're taught at every level of baseball that sliding slows you down. First base, you can run through the bag, run through the base, don't slide into first. It's pointless. You end up hurting yourself. Either you jam the finger on the base, you get stepped on by the first baseman, just run through the base. It's dumb. But second and third, even home, is generally more acceptable because you don't have that luxury to kind of keep running. If you overrun the base, you can get tagged out. Sliding there, and I think, like Deepak said, Zimmerman kind of a fluky thing, so a much more acceptable, I think, to slide headfirst into second and third.
Yeah, no, I definitely have to agree with that, but that's all the time we have for now, guys. You heard it from us, the experts of baseball here at American University. I hope you guys stay tuned and watch some more SportsZone.
Welcome back to SportsZone for more SportsZone action, including exclusive merchandise, full episodes. You can find out how to get Michael Gardner's autographed and other assorted ATV action. Hit up auatv.com right now. Like, literally, do it now. Do it now! And we're back on SportsZone literally a couple hours ago. We had the conclusion of the Masters, a tradition unlike any other. And you had our good friend Bubba Watson, the native Georgian or Alabaman himself. I think he's from Alabama.
Yeah.
That's right. And Bubba Watson, in his sixth try at the Masters, has now won his second green jacket. Finished 8 under par, 3 ahead of Jonas Blixt and the youngster Jordan Spieth, who we'll get to in a moment because we have a little connection. Yay! But Mike, break down Bubba Watson's win today.
It's big considering 2 of the last 3 years he's won it.
That's right.
And so it has to put him up within the top 10 of the best golfers in the world.
Absolutely.
Knowing that you can handle the pressure of the Masters, beautiful in Augusta, the dogwood,
Yes.
and one of the other flowers that are named after
Yep.
the like sweet oak or whatever.
Whatever.
It's basically anything you could find in a Snapple bottle is at the Masters. All those flavors.
What?
It's good to see. It's good to see him win too, because it also gives an American golf, because that's something that's always been bashed in the past, especially at the Ryder Cup.
That's right.
When we
this
just
year,
when we just
back
tanked.
back up in Ireland.
And I love it.
Scott.
It also completely washes over the Tiger Woods not being in the Masters.
That's right.
So now everyone can focus on Bubba Watson,
Yes.
who not only has 2 green jackets but a hovercraft.
And the General Lee. We love Bubba
And the
Watson.
General Lee.
Good old boy. But Dylan, Bubba Watson, he's now is as I mentioned, his second Masters and his 6th attempt, which hasn't been done since the immortal Arnold Palmer in 1960. He was kind of a famous player in the world of golf and a fantastic beverage. But Bubba
comes in
Watson
diet.
now can we officially solidify him as one of Tiger Woods is the biggest star in golf. I mean,
Yes.
let's just get it out of the way. He didn't play in it, but I'm sorry, still the biggest. Can we maybe put Bubba Watson as a number 2? Because Phil Mickelson didn't even make the cut.
He didn't make the cut.
And he sucked this year.
I don't know if I would put him at number 2. I would definitely put him up there, though, because when you think of some of the best players in the world and some of the names, at least the biggest celebrities, like you said, there's Woods, there's Mickelson, there's Rory McIlroy, and then there's Bubba Watson.
Yeah.
So I would definitely put him up there. Part of it's the fact that he was kind of obscure for a few years ago when he won it. He has the pink. He has the pink driver. He has the big shot off the way into the rough. So I would definitely put him up there as one of the biggest celebrities. I don't know if I'd put him at number 2 though. Even though Mickelson hasn't had a great year, and even though he didn't make the cut, I think just of how much success Mickelson's had in the past, I think you would probably still have to put Mickelson at number 2 behind
He
Tiger.
did win the British Open last year.
Mickelson? Yeah, but he hasn't had a top 10 this year.
Yet.
Well, yes, but with several events into the year, this was, of course, the first major of the year. And it was interesting, Bubba Watson, it was cool to see him win again. Last time when he won, he, was greeted by his parents, and that was very cool. And this time, he, broke down in tears. He was with his little kid and his wife. And his golf game really reminds me back in the day of the legendary Greg Norman, the Shark himself. Because, Bubba Watson kills it on the driver. They always said that Norman was perhaps the best driver ever, except for maybe Tiger Woods. But that's a story for another day, the Tiger proofing. And not only does Bubba Watson kill the ball, he's also a very aggressive player, which can get him in trouble. And you saw him struggle on Saturday when he was a +2 for the day. But really, you saw all day a lot of aggressive play, and it really worked out for him as it has all tournament. So kudos to Bubba Watson. Going from Bubba Watson to another good old boy we love, our good friend Johnny Manziel, Johnny Football, quarterback of Texas A&M, just had his pro day, and pro days are meaningful. I don't know why, because your pro day is designed to make you look good, but whatever. Dylan Choate, if you had to pick, do you think Johnny Manziel, Mr. Football himself, can be a franchise quarterback in the NFL? Hot topic these days.
I don't think he can be.
What,
I'm gonna be jumping on that Ron Jaworski bandwagon sort of. I don't think I'd put him down as low as he does, but yes, he has magic. Everyone knows that.
Yeah.
He can make big plays. He can run the ball. No, he doesn't. He can run the ball. I just don't know if he can stand up to being a franchise quarterback. And what you've noticed over the past few years with quarterbacks that run the ball, whether it's Vic or Griffin or stuff like that, is things can happen. And I feel like he would have to play more like Russell Wilson. That's probably the one that he's compared to the most. Either Russell Wilson or even Colin Kaepernick a little bit. But most of the time people are comparing him to Russell Wilson. I think Russell Wilson's definitely a lot smarter of a player and a lot more, I don't want to say talented, because you get into, Johnny Manziel's very, very talented, but I just don't see him as a franchise quarterback. All the talks about whether the Texans are going to take him number 1 overall, I don't think he should go number 1 overall. He definitely is going to be top 15, probably top 10. But I don't think he's going to be a franchise quarterback. He's going to be good coming out of the gate, which is usually what you see with these high drafted quarterbacks. They're good to start.
Yeah.
I think he's going to fall off after that, though. I honestly do. I don't think that he's going to be able to keep up to the rigor of an NFL season. Especially, I think he's 6 feet tall.
Yeah.
He just looks overall small. And I don't think that even if he puts muscle onto his frame, I don't think he's going to be able to stand up for an entire year.
I did mention Jordan Spieth. We're talking about the Masters. Mike, you do have a little special connection with Jordan Spieth. Going back to that Masters talk, because I completely forgot about
Oh no, that's my thumbs.
Oh, that's for your
I
thoughts?
want to talk about some football, some Johnny football.
All right, so what's your thoughts on Johnny Football? You're a Texas boy. He's a Texas boy.
Well, he has had trouble in the past with injuries, which could happen in the NFL because as a scrambling quarterback, you face the rigorous defensive ends, the blitzing linebackers, and how do you think you're going to take a hit when some free safety just comes over the line and buries him into the ground? Also, the franchise that he goes to is going to be pretty bad. And the Browns.
Well, maybe.
The Jacksonville Jaguars.
They're probably not going to draft a quarterback.
Exactly.
But
Raiders.
The Raiders.
They may.
Johnny Football in the silver and black. I will pay money for his jersey.
No, you won't.
He'll be number 2, and the last quarterback in the Raiders that wore number 2, Jamarcus Russell.
And on that note of our good friend Jamarcus Russell, another friend of the show.
He on that purple drink. We don't endorse that.
Well, thanks for bringing that up. You're watching SportsZone.
Hello, fans. I am Sergeant Gardner.
And I am Detective Flo.
And it is Good Cop, Bad Cop
Oh, yes.
here on SportsZone. Basically, this is pretty much a free ball segment.
Yes.
We will go into forensics and look at cases on the good side and the bad side. We'll start with our first subject, Kevin Harvick.
Yes, man.
Good cop, bad cop. Basically, I will play good cop. Him winning his second race
Of the season.
at Darlington. I say yes, he is in prime shape, as I picked on Fanatic Radio, to win the Sprint Cup.
Really?
And so far, it is making him look like a genius. He was great in Charlotte for the preseason testing. He came out guns a-blazing. I think did he win the shoot or not the shootout, but he won one of the duels, didn't he?
I believe he did.
And then his car got failed for inspection.
That's right.
So, but he is in prime category to be the front runner in the number 4 Bud Chevy.
But to cast a negative light on Mr. Happy Harvick, Detective Flo is going to have to give him some demerits because the fact that, yes, Kevin Harvick is the first repeat winner, is the only 2-time winner of the season, but he's also 22nd in points, and he's been very hit or miss, which means even in the chase, you need to win a lot, and he's locked to be in the chase now. He probably was already. But you still need to have some consistently, and I don't think him and the great Roddy Childers' crew chief have done it. So, as of right now, I think Kevin Harvick still has much to be determined.
All right. Subject number 2.
Not picking my nose.
John Calipari.
Yes.
You gotta be a good cop on this.
Do you know, everyone hates on John Calipari because people hate on John Calipari because of the one and dones. But let's be honest. If any coach in America could recruit these kids, he would. He's not cheating a system. People hate Calipari because he does this, but who cares? You know, he's able to recruit these kids, and then they choose to go to the NBA. Is he not allowed to recruit top talent? I mean, come on, the guy is a great coach. He has proven he has won everywhere he has gone. If Kentucky wants to go back, if fans want Kentucky to go back to the days of Billy Gillispie, or the late years of Tubby Smith, that's fine. But John Calipari, great coach and an even better American.
Gotta play the bad cop on this. Calipari is everything wrong with our American educational system?
What?
Because he's letting these players go, but he does the.
This is America. He's for freedom.
I'd love them to stay, but Julius Randle's he's gone. It's very confusing for basketball enthusiasts that he lets this happen. And you have guys like Boeheim, Krzyzewski, Tom Izzo that pride on the 4-year players.
How many 4-year players did Duke have?
We saw this year that
Michigan
Shabazz
State.
Napier-
How good did all those teams do?
They made the tournament like AU did.
Okay. Well, yes.
And we have one senior who his pro day is coming up.
Tony Roblicki. There is no pro day. I have no idea what you're talking about. We love Tony Roblicki. God bless your soul.
But it's just a matter of time to see what happens next year because Calipari, because now Calipari is faced with what if these guys stay? Oh no.
West Side.
What is going to happen? And our final subject.
South Side sucks.
Who is our final subject?
What is it, Michael?
I'm still thinking, looking through the. Oh, of course, obviously the New York Knicks.
Yes.
I will play good cop on this. It is not a season of regret and sadness, but yet something to look forward to. If the Knicks, all they need to do is just fire their coach
again.
Phil Jackson again. Phil Jackson will have finally his first season, full season under his belt to clean out whatever riffraff is in that locker room. Stay optimistic, Knicks fans, because
don't.
They have a very talented team that could do damage next year because missing the playoffs. The Mavericks missed the playoffs. They made it the following year.
Then I'm sorry, but the Knicks suck.
He is the bad cop.
Period. The Knicks were terrible this year. If you have one of the best players in the NBA, Carmelo Anthony. Sure, Ray Felton was the worst point guard in basketball. Sure, J.R. Smith is the malcontent. But when you have a star player and you miss the playoffs in one of the worst Eastern Conferences in years, I think you need to do some. I think the Knicks need to realize that they're terrible and they're just jealous that the Nets fans are enjoying a solid winner that could potentially do some damage in the Eastern Conference or not. Still better than what the Knicks did. So yeah, sorry, Jaron Berman. Sorry, Knicks fans, your team was awful.
And on that note, we will close the case here on the Forensics Lab of Sports Zone. Ben Florence, Mike Gardner.
Hello.
We'll send it back to the main panel. This has been SZ
Welcome back to Sports Zone. We got a little thumbs up, thumbs down action. I know we're excited. Yay! We got Mike Gardner, Dylan Show back with us. We also got our good friend Dan Lagnato, who is in the mix. Mr. DL, no DA. We love DA as well. But Dylan, thumbs up, thumbs down. What do you got?
Hey, we're going to go thumbs up first, and that's going to be to actually having a pretty decent showing today for Sports Zone. Not the best we've had, but when you think of the past few weeks, we haven't been able to tape due to some issues. We haven't been able to get as many people on. But for some of the segments today, as you can see right now, we have 4 people on. We got 3 people in the back sort of area. So I think that's good. Hopefully we can keep this up for the rest of the year. So we got thumbs up to that. Another thumbs up is going to go to baseball. So there's this player on the Minnesota Twins who's having a pretty hot year right now. He's a first baseman / DH, and he's played a little outfield. Chris Colabello. He's had some pretty. He came up last year. I think he's about a 33-year-old. I think technically this is his rookie season. He's bounced around a lot. Reason why I'm giving him thumbs up is he's actually from my area. So he, when they keep referring to him as this Can-Am League guy, he played for the Worcester Tornadoes, which is about a half an hour from where I live. Played for the Worcester Tornadoes for quite a few years. I think he was there for 5-6 years. They won the Can-Am League championship their first year behind his bat. He was always a good 325 home run guy. He went to Auburn High School, pretty local. His dad taught gym class at at Douglas High School.
No way.
He also was the softball coach, and because I knew that, I took batting lessons with Chris Colabello when I was in Little League. He was teaching out of the Auburn Sportsplex, which is, like I said, where he went to high school. I took batting lessons with him while he was playing with the Tornadoes. He got drafted, or not really drafted, but he got to try out with the Tigers a few years ago during spring training. He's played in the World Baseball Classic quite a few years. I have his autograph on 2 or 3 separate baseballs just from the amount of times I've seen him or taking batting lessons with him. So it's a great story for Chris Colabello. I really hope he continues his hot streak. He slowed down a little bit, but I mean, it's the season. I think he's going to get a lot of playing time with the Twins this year, and I really hope he can kind of keep this going and be a pretty solid player for the next few years in Major League Baseball. So big thumbs up to Chris Colabello right there. Thumbs down is going to go to that guy sitting right over there.
Thank you.
B-Flow Ben Florence. So, if you guys remember last week, we were talking about the NCAA tournament, and I'm pretty sure we were sitting on here, me and you, and I think it was Nick. And you guys both said Kentucky's going to win. Yep. There's no chance.
I did not say no chance.
Okay, you didn't say there was no chance,
you?
but you were determined that Kentucky was going to win, and even though you might not have, the camera might not have been on you, there was a look that you gave me with a shake of your head of disapproval,
that is not true.
saying when I said UConn was going to win.
That is 100% not true.
UConn ended up winning.
You are making stuff up.
I am not making this up. I'm pretty sure Nick will defend me on this.
No, he won't.
I will go check with him in the background.
Nick has no
but
credit.
I'm going to give a thumbs down to B-Flow.
Why would you give a thumbs down to him?
Fine, I'll give a thumbs down to both of you. Both of you for doubting me on picking the UConn Huskies. I know it was a little bit out there, and I know it wasn't the most favorable pick. But thumbs down to you guys for questioning me on picking the UConn Huskies when they ended up winning the championship. So thumbs up to me, thumbs down to you guys.
Hold him back, DL.
All right.
On that note, Dan Lagnato, what do you got?
All right, I'm going to start thumbs down. I'm going to go thumbs down to the group project that I have to present tomorrow because that's not going to be fun. Additional thumbs down. Everything school related. I mean, class scheduling I have this week.
Well, this is school related.
And I have a paper due on Friday, so all the thumbs downs for schoolwork. Thumbs up. I'm going to go thumbs up for my first thumbs up, thumbs down segment. That's a milestone for me, at least. I will give a thumbs up as my friend Dylan here said, baseball season, just thumbs up in general, because I was miserable over the winter because I had nothing going on. Also, thumbs up, I'm getting over being sick, so that's fantastic to not be dying. So I'll give a thumbs up to that.
Well, death is great. We all die once in a while.
Yeah, not at age 18, though. I'm hoping for a few more years.
Be surprised.
Additional thumbs up for the intramural soccer team, myself, Michael Gardner, and our good friend Nick.
Terrible team.
We're headed to the playoffs, so thumbs up there for intramural soccer.
How hard is that?
Get ready. Get ready.
Whoa!
Wow,
Shots fired.
shots.
Hold the ball.
So yeah, that is my last thumbs up. Found to Michael Gardner.
You have no game.
Absolutely. Thumbs up to the intramural soccer team.
Terrible.
thumbs up, which we were going to say in the last segment, but I'll say this segment. Jordan Spieth, a 20-year-old golfer who finished tied for second with the Masters. And interesting connection how I don't know him personally, but he went to high school with my brother. And so he knows guys, and apparently my brother was in a Spanish class with him.
Yes!
So it was great because him and a
Española!
friend that played soccer with him in high school
Sorry.
used to always joke and be like, wouldn't it be funny if he asked me for help in Spanish class? So congrats to him. He's already won a couple of tournaments. Last year he was PGA Rookie of the Year. Nothing but the best for him because he is the new rising face of golf. Because Ricky Fowler couldn't get it done. And thumbs up to Texas Motor Speedway. That's where I was last weekend. It was great. I got to experience me missing a flight, going standby, a rain delay, a change of a flight, a red eye, and
Great gut feel.
got to be on Big Hoss TV.
Yes.
Which is by the Guinness Book of World Records, the largest HD television in the world. And yeah, I was on it. I was very excited for that. Also, thumbs down to the lacrosse team. Dan Lagnano knows this. They are
boy.
currently winless in conference play, which means next Saturday is a must-win to salvage what dignity we have of our ladies in white. If they don't, it'd be pretty disappointing.
Gotta hold the
Sad.
lead. Hold the lead.
I know, right? Also, a thumbs down. I'll continue off of a Dylan. Thumbs down to Ben Florence. I love this show as much as the next guy.
No, you don't. don't get me started on that.
But when he threatens to, which ultimately I'm guessing is you're just not gonna show up to Fanatic Radio.
No,
if
it was
I
more
don't.
than that.
Dude, I would love to. I want to hear this.
I'm not going to tell you. Maybe I'll tell you.
Do tell. What was
I'm
it?
not telling you now.
Oh man. Okay, we'll get exclusive off the record after the show.
Yes, it's off
But
the record,
Thumbs,
so
thumbs
nobody
down to my partner in crime threatening the prestige of Fanatic Radio, which we
Because
love
you're threatening
so
prestige
dear.
of this show.
What prestige of this
What
show?
prestige of Fanatic Radio
That's a
has?
lie.
This has more
Terrible.
prestige than Fanatic Radio.
That is. I've been received a yellow card by Alan Wynn.
Good.
I don't want to give him a
Yes.
shout out. Also, a final thumbs up to John Blendo, a good friend of mine who throws a wild party of his own.
Thumbs up is going to go to myself because I'm getting so much hate on my show. But beyond me yelling again, give a thumbs up to me because I found it. I will be here this summer, basking in the greatness that is a District of Columbia summer.
No, it's
It's
not.
going to be bad. I haven't been in DC in the summer since Eagle Summit 2011, which was great because we left early, went home with my mom and my sister, and the Jeep Liberty was great. And then we got stuck in a massive traffic jam in the turnpike. I was driving, got chewed out. Not fun times. Fortunately, knock on wood, when I do end up going home before I come back down here, because we'll be doing a couple of internships. How about that?
Hey.
You know, you guys all hate on me, but I'm doing things in this life, so get off me. Another thumbs up. I actually had a couple Twinkies earlier, and I grew up there. You know what? Thumbs down to the people in the back they always flash the lights, and they're both flipping me off because they're very professional. Deepak, we got Nick Papadis. No class.
As we break in the fourth wall.
Total trash.
We love it.
Beyond that, I will give a thumbs up to John Blendo. Good man.
You're welcome.
So thanks for that. But yeah, so I never really, for a long time, I never really considered myself a Twinkie guy. I had a Twinkie earlier today. Stop flashing the lights! I saw it the first time.
All of the lights.
And terrible song. But great in the AU Trick Shot video. Our good friend Joe Hill. Whatever he's up to.
And Steve Luptak.
And Steve Luptak. Great man.
Who knows after that?
But yeah, Twinkies are actually a solid product. Also CVS. Decent store.
Open 24 hours.
They're open 24 hours. Beyond that, and because I never prepare thumbs and thus always forget to say things, on that note, thank you for watching Sports Zone. We got a little derailed during the thumbs up, thumbs down. But you can look to the people to my left and away from me. For everyone here at Sports Zone, ATV, AUATV.com, whatever else you got, I am Ben Florence. Thank you for watching. We will see you at some point in the near future.